Brewing beer for me is kind of like going out in the woods and exploring. Sometimes you go down a trail that leads to a dead end, but sometimes it leads to a beautiful scenic vista. I'm always looking for those vistas. It was about 15 years ago when my wife actually bought me a homebrew kit. And I started brewing with a simple 5-gallon carboy and a bucket and throwing ingredients together. The first batches, they were horrible. I threw them out. I learned a lot from those first few batches. I started to really take an interest though in trying to improve the process. Within about 2 years of brewing beer, I entered a competition. It was a stout, very similar to this one here, and it took best of show at the competition of over 500 beers. So it's kind of like my baby. So I finally wanted to make beer into a profession, right? So I told my wife, I said, hey, by the way, I just started a company.
And I was kind of surprised. And I was like, okay, go back upstairs and add me as 50% owner. And then we were done together. There were times where we'd get frustrated and I could see David saying, oh, this might be too difficult. And then that really motivated me to say, no, we're gonna make this work.
So we started out in a small basement unit in downtown Batavia, Illinois. We got the name Energy City Brewing because Batavia is known as the city of energy. There was many windmills manufactured in Batavia, as well as the Fermilab. It's a particle accelerator. So we thought, well, Energy City Brewing, so that stuck. On the first Saturday of each month, we have an open door policy.
Our first Saturdays, we started them because it was as much beer as we could produce in a month. And it really did differentiate us a little bit because who would only open a business 3 hours a month? That's crazy. But it kind of became our thing.
There'd be a line through the parking lot, out to the sidewalk, and then down into the main street of Batavia. And so people would see this and say, what's going on? And people would hop in line like, what are we here in line for? And it became known quite well.
We like the beer. We love the beer.
I like Energy City beer. I'm here the first every month if I'm not on vacation or I'm not ill or injured.
Have you had a milkshake IPA? Not yet. You have to have it from here.
I actually feel like we've had a community since day one. It's part of the drive for us to continue moving forward, and it's part of the reason we got to where we are.
So we've moved into a new place. It's about 3 times bigger than our original basement unit. It's still our experimental lab. So we do our pilot batches here, our 1-barrel system, new and novel, interesting things that we're inspired to make. And we do 30-barrel batches near Chicago, and that affords us the ability to produce enough cans and bottles from each batch to be able to distribute beer. What I think is great about beer, it's this combination of history and art and cuisine and science. And I just love the intersection of those things. And maybe I'm just nerding out on it because I love all these aspects. It's a great fusion of a lot of my interests. My career to date has been a chemical engineer making fuel ethanol, essentially converting corn into gasoline on a mega scale. And so I take some of those tips and tricks that we learn and try to apply some of those to our 1-barrel brew house. I'm a brewer that really loves the science behind it. I love the chemistry, the measurements, the pH, the specific gravity, the oxygen concentration. I really get into that. That I think gives us some advantages. I think that shows in our quality of our product. It also gives me inspiration to be able to brew on bigger and bigger systems. One of the great things that sets us apart is our ability to make new beer every month. A new beer style, new ingredients, new packaging. We can, on a whim, come up with a new idea and within about 3 or 4 weeks have a new beer out for production.
I thought that our measure of success was that we would see our beer in one location, like a restaurant or a store. That would be awesome. This has definitely grown to be something bigger than I thought it would ever be, for sure.
And we hope to keep growing it and continue to grow the production. And we couldn't do it without you guys, your support and your feedback. And so, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the type of guy that I don't like to just say, oh, that recipe is perfect. That's not me. There's never a perfect recipe. There's always a chance to brew it better. I always like the beer I've made in the past, but honestly, the beer that I'm most excited about is the one we haven't made yet.